Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Magoon Squad show. Today it's just going to be me, but Bobby will be here on the next episode tomorrow, and we're going to be kind of doing the same thing that I'm doing today, just kind of going through the year and kind of giving you my opinion of what to expect on the year and what we can kind of see going through. So let's get into it. We're going to start out with the Saints already first because Saints are my team. So I'm going to go ahead and just give you my thoughts and run through their schedule real quick, and then we'll probably go back to the league schedule as well. To just go week by week. And for people listening, I'll kind of try to make it as easy as possible. It's easier to look at, but I'm going to try to make it as easy as possible for you and just tell you who's playing who, where. But yeah, let's go ahead and get into it. I think the Saints pick up week 1 win versus the Panthers. We're going to lose to the Cowboys on the road. We're going to beat we're going to lose to the Eagles at home. I think we lose to the Falcons on the road personally and the Chiefs on the road, but then we'll pick up 2 nice home wins against the Bucks and the Broncos. I think we beat the Chargers on the road. I think we beat the Panthers on the road, the Falcons at home. We lose to the Browns at home, though, and then we get on a bye week. I think we beat the Rams at home. We'll probably lose to the Giants on the road, low-key, just because Daniel Jones seems like one of those quarterbacks to where we will kind of lose to him on the road. We should beat Washington at home. We'll lose to the Packers on the road. We'll beat the Raiders at home, and then I think we'll lose to the Bucks. We'll lose to the Bucks on the road there. But now let's just get back into it. So let's go back to week 1 real quick. I just want to go through the Saints schedule real quick. That means we'll finish 9-8 with a 4-2 division record. I can only see us losing to the Bucks and the Falcons, sweeping the Panthers. So that's not bad for us. Well, let's go ahead and get into week 1, right? You got Ravens versus Chiefs. I'm going to go ahead and say the Chiefs are going to pick up a nice week 1 win against the Ravens. The Bengals are going to pick up a nice week 1 win against the Pats. Dolphins are going to beat the Jags at home. Texans, I'm going to take the Colts at home versus the Texans. I'm going to take the Chargers at home versus the Vegas Raiders. I'm going to take the Titans on the road versus the Bears, low-key. I think Will Levis needs to show that he can win on the road and also beat a team that is kind of young, still young with Caleb Williams and Roma Duze, so people like that. And I think Titans should pick up that win with the new revamped defense. That's just me, though. And then moving on, I think the Falcons beat the Steelers at home to pick up their first win on the season. Bills should beat the Cardinals at home. I'm gonna go Seahawks at home versus the Bucks. Give me the Browns at home versus the Cowboys, low key. Give me the Jets on the road versus the Niners. I think Aaron Rodgers kind of shows out and reminds people who he is on his first road game as a Jet, since he didn't play at all last year. I think the Eagles beat the Packers. I want to lean towards the Packers winning on the road, but I think the Eagles get the job done. And then you got I'll take the Giants at home versus Minnesota. I'll take the Bucks at home versus Washington. I'll take the Lions at home versus the Rams. So moving on to week 2, I'll take the Dolphins at home versus the Bills. I'll take the Titans at home versus the Jets, low key. Actually, no, I'll take the Jets. I'll take the Jets at home versus the Titans. And then give me Jacksonville to beat the Browns at home. Ravens to beat the Raiders at home. Steelers to beat the Broncos on the road. Kansas City. You know what? Give me the Bengals to beat Kansas City at Kansas City. I think Joe Burrow shows up in that game and really shows out with Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. Packers pick up their first win against the Colts in week 2 at home. Panthers should beat the Chargers, in my opinion, at home with Bryce Young and that team kind of coming to a fruition now. And then also just looking at their strength of schedule, pretty much everyone in the NFC South has the easiest schedule, along with Tennessee, the Colts, Chargers, so on and so forth. So, anyway, moving on. I'll give... Oh, this is tough. I'll give the Patriots a win at home, honestly. I think they beat the Seahawks at home. I think Drake May kind of feels comfortable at home and wins that one. Give me the Texans at home versus the Bears. Give me the Niners on the road in Minnesota. Give me Give me give me the Commanders at home versus the Giants. Give me the Lions at home versus the Bucks. Give me the Cardinals at home versus the Rams, and give me the Eagles at home versus the Falcons. Moving on to week 3 now, we got more AFC versus NFC matchups. I'll take the Packers to beat the Titans at home. I'll take let's see here. I'll take Houston to beat Minnesota. I'll take the Colts to beat the Bears at home. I'll take the Bucks to beat the Broncos at home. Browns to beat the Giants at home. Moving on, we'll see the Dolphins win on the road versus the Seahawks, and then Vegas Raiders should pick up a win against the Panthers there at home. Cowboys should actually, I'll take the Ravens. I think the Ravens win on the road versus the Cowboys, and show how well that Ravens team is. And then moving on, I'll say Kansas City to beat the Falcons, Bengals to beat the Commanders at home, 49ers to beat the Rams, of course the Eagles to beat the Saints on the road, 49ers to beat the Rams on the road, Lions to beat the Cardinals on the road, Jets to beat the Patriots at home, Steelers should beat the Chargers at home, and then Bills should beat the Jaguars at home, in my opinion there. Moving on, Jaguars, I think, sneaking a win against the Texans on the road there, coming off a bounce back week. Give me the Colts at home versus the Steelers, the Jets at home versus the Broncos, the Kansas City Chiefs beating the Chargers on the road, Browns on the road versus the Raiders. I'll take the Browns. I'll take the Ravens at home versus the Bills. Give me the Dolphins at home versus the Titans. Give me the Bengals on the road versus the Panthers. The 49ers at home versus the Patriots. The Cowboys on the road against the Giants. The Packers at home versus Minnesota. And just like, it's tough for Minnesota because Minnesota's just struggling at QB. We'll do Bears at home versus the Rams. Eagles at home versus the Bucks. I'll take the Cardinals at home versus the Commanders, though, and Lions at home versus the Seahawks. So moving on to week 5 here now. I'll take Texans at home versus the Bills, Jags at home versus the Colts, Bengals at home versus the Ravens, Dolphins on the road versus the Pats. I'll take the Dolphins. Broncos at home versus the Raiders. I'll take the Broncos. Jets on the road versus Minnesota. I'll take Minnesota. Browns on the road versus Washington. I'll take them. Cowboys on the road in Pittsburgh. I'll take the Cowboys. Saints on the road versus the Chiefs. I'll take the Chiefs, as I said before when we went through the Saints schedule. Looking here, I'll take the Falcons at home versus the Bucks, and then I'll take Panthers on the road versus the Bears low-key. I think Bryce Young has a good game on the road there. I'll take 49ers at home. I'll take Seahawks at home versus the Giants, and then I'll take the Packers on the road versus the LA Rams. Moving on to week 6, we'll stop at week 9 and kind of go through, run down what the records are looking like at that moment. Titans versus the Colts. I think Titans pick up the win at home. Moving on, I think Texans will win versus the Patriots on the road. Steelers should win on the road in Vegas. Broncos should beat the Chargers at home. I think Broncos pick up that win there. Let's see. I think Bills pick up the win against the Jets on the road. Jags pick up the win against the Bears on the road. Ravens pick up the win against the Commanders. Eagles pick up the win against the Browns at home. Bengals pick up the win on the road at the Giants. 49ers pick up the win on the road at the Seahawks. Packers win at home versus the Cardinals. Saints win at home versus the Bucks. Cowboys win at home against the Lions. And then finally the Panthers will win at home versus the Falcons, in my opinion. That's what I think. Jaguars win at home versus the Pats. Colts beat the Dolphins at home. Yeah, I know that one's a little crazy, but Colts beat the Dolphins at home. Bills beat the Titans at home. Bengals beat the Browns. Or, you know what? I'm going to go Browns win. Browns beat the Bengals at home. Steelers beat the Jets at home. Saints beat the Broncos at home. Packers beat the Texans at home. A lot of home wins this week 7, so just keep that in mind. I think Vegas picks up a nice win against the Rams. Actually, no, you know what? I'll take the Rams there at home. Give me the 49ers at home against Kansas City. There. Give me, give me. You know what? Yeah, give me the Ravens on the road against the Bucks, and then I'll take the Chargers on the road against the Cardinals. Just for some reason, I think the Chargers will win that game. Uh, Lions should beat Minnesota pretty easily on the road. Falcons should beat the Seahawks on at home. Eagles should win on the road against the Giants, and then I'm going to take the Commanders versus the Panthers at home. Going into Week 8, I could see Texans picking up another win at home versus the Colts. Give me the Browns at home versus the I'll take the Ravens, actually. Give me the Ravens on the road to win against the Browns. Jets should win on the road at the Patriots. Kansas City should win in Vegas there. Packers, or you know what? Give me Jaguars, low-key. Jaguars to pick up the win against the Packers at home. Dolphins to pick up the win against the Cardinals. Lions to pick up the win against the Titans. Bills on the road, Seahawks should win. Saints on the road at Chargers should win. Broncos should pick up a win against the Panthers. Let's see who else. We'll go Bengals at home versus the Eagles. Bengals should win that one, in my opinion there. Steelers should beat the Giants at home. Minnesota and LA. I'm going to go LA at home versus Minnesota. Give me LA there. Give me the Bucks at home versus the Falcons. Give me the Commanders at home versus the Bears. And give me the 49ers at home. Actually, you know what? Give me the Cowboys on the road at the 49ers. I think Cowboys will find a way to win that game even after losing on the road. I don't know why. I don't know why Cowboys will find a way to do some crazy thing like that and win on the road. Moving into Week 9 before we pause and kind of reflect on the standings real quick here. Let's go ahead and look. We'll do Dude, Texans are going to beat the Jets on the road. I really do think so. So I think I'm going to go with Jets on the road. Texans on the road versus the Jets. Titans at home versus the Patriots. I think the Bills pick up a win against the Dolphins at home. Personally, me. Bengals should pick up that win at home versus the Vegas Raiders. Let's see here. I'll say Ravens at home versus the Broncos. Browns at home versus the Chargers. I'll do Colts at home Colts on the road at Minnesota. The Eagles should beat the Jaguars at home. Kansas City should win that game at home versus the Bucks. I'm going to go Giants to win that game versus the Commanders at home. Cowboys on the road against Atlanta should win. Saints on the road at the Panthers should win. I'm going to say Bears over the Cardinals to win on the road. I'm going to go with Rams I'll go with Seahawks to win at home, and then I'm going to go with Packers to win at home against the Lions. So looking at the standings right now, we have the 8-1 Bengals, 7-2 and 7-3 Ravens and Browns, 5-3 Steelers, 6-2 Chiefs, 3-6 Broncos, 2-6 Chargers, 1-9 Vegas Raiders, 6-2 Dolphins, 6-3 Bills, 6-3 Jets, 1-8 Patriots, 6-3 Jags and Texans, 5-4 Colts, and 3-5 Titans. Moving to the NFC, we got the 7-1 Eagles, Cowboys at 6-2, with Commanders and Giants both at 3-7. Packers at 8-2, Lions at 6-2, Bears at 2-6, and Vikings at 0-8. I don't know. Okay, yeah, no, that's right. And then 49ers at 6-2, Seahawks at 3-6. Cardinals at 7-2, Rams at 7-2, Saints at 9-8. Again, the reason they're at 9-8 is because I already went through their entire schedule already at the very beginning of the episode. The Bucks are at 4-6, along with the Falcons, and then the Panthers at 3-6 right now. So moving on, I'll take the Ravens at home versus the Bengals. I think they split those two things. I really do think the Bengals win majority. I think they split against the Browns and the Ravens and then sweep the Steelers. That's just me, though. But moving on, Chiefs should beat the Broncos at home. Colts should beat the Bills at home. Titans beat the Chargers on the road, in my opinion. I think the Titans pick up that win. Bears should beat the Pats at home. Steelers should beat the Commanders on the road. Jacksonville should win at home against Minnesota. Jets should win on the road against Arizona. Let's go with the Lions on the road against Houston. They pick up that one. I think Dolphins pick up that win on the road. LA. Panthers pick up a win against the Giants at home. Honestly, that's just that's tough. But I'm gonna go with Bryce Young and that Panthers team to win it at home. Saints beat the Falcons at home. 49ers beat the Bucks on the road, and Cowboys beat the Eagles at home. Moving on to week 11 now. We got Dolphins to beat the Raiders at home. Ooh, Steelers. Oh, dude, Ravens are going to be. You know what? I think the Steelers beat the Ravens at home. Bengals win on the road against the Chargers. Chiefs win on the road against the Bills. Jets win at home. Titans beat the Minnesota Vikings at home. Patriots beat the Rams at home. Honestly, I could see that happening for them there. Lions win at home against the Jags. Falcons win on the road against the Bucks. Cowboys win at home against the Texans. Eagles win at home against the Commanders. Packers win at home against the Bears because Packers, in my opinion, still own the Bears in Chicago. And then 49ers beat the Seahawks at home. Moving on to week 12. I believe, is it next week? The next week will be the Thanksgiving games. But looking at this, I think Steelers lose to the Browns at home. Texans beat the Titans at home. Dolphins beat the Pats at home. Raiders beat the Broncos at home. Chargers lose to the Ravens at home. Colts lose to the Lions at home. Panthers lose to the Chiefs at home. Bears beat the Minnesota Vikings at home. The Giants, I think the Giants sneak and beat the Bucks at home, low key. Cowboys will beat the Commanders on the road. I think the Seahawks pick up a win against the Cardinals at home. Packers, you know, I'm gonna go with Niners on the road against the Packers. I think the Niners pick up that win on the road, and Eagles pick up the win against the Rams. So now moving on to the Thanksgiving games, this is kind of where it's like the turning point, in my opinion, of that of the season is when you kind of get into Thanksgiving games, and that's kind of when players lock in even more. Because I don't know why it kind of just happens that way, and that's just kind of where I'm at with that. Let's go ahead and do Chiefs versus the Raiders. Give me the Chiefs. I'll take the Colts at home versus the Patriots. Bengals versus the Steelers. I'll take the Bengals at home. Jags at home versus the Texans win. Browns on the road in Denver wins that. Packers at home versus the Dolphins win that. Falcons versus the Chargers at home win that. Jets at home versus the Seahawks should win that. Titans on the road in Washington. I'll take the Tennessee Titans on that one. The Eagles on the road at Baltimore. I'll take the Baltimore Ravens winning that one. In my opinion, I don't know why. I think the Bills and Josh Allen will find a way to beat the 49ers at home. That one is a little out. That one's a little hot take, but I think the Bills will beat the 49ers at home on Thanksgiving week. Give me the Lions at home versus the Bears. The Cowboys at home versus the Giants on Thanksgiving Day on those games. I'll get Minnesota at home versus the Cardinals, and I'll take the Panthers at home versus the Bucks. Or you know what? Yeah, I'll take the Panthers at home versus the Bucks. Give me that. I think Jacksonville goes to Tennessee and beats the Titans. I think the Steelers win one against the Browns at home there. I'll take the Dolphins at home versus the Jets and the Chiefs at home versus the Chargers. I'll take the Bucks at home versus the Raiders. I'll take the Bills on the road in LA. And then I'll take the Cowboys at home versus the Bengals. I don't know why. I think Joe Burrow should beat the Cowboys, but Dak Prescott and the Cowboys are a regular season team. They always find a way to win. I don't know how. I don't know why. Don't question it. Trust me. The Lions should beat the Packers at home. It's going to be a close one, but I think the Lions should pick up that win. Minnesota should pick up a win against the Falcons at home. That's just my opinion. I think that Minnesota will find a way to win that one. Eagles should win that one at home against the Panthers. Seahawks will find... I think Seahawks will lose that game on the road in Arizona. Arizona should win that home game. And same for the 49ers against the Bears. Moving on to Week 15. Texans should pick up a win against the Dolphins here. Titans will lose to the Bengals on the road. The Bengals on the road should beat the Titans. Jaguars at home versus the Jets. I think the Jags will win that one. You know what? Let me sneak in a Browns pick. I'll take the Browns beating the Kansas City Chiefs at home with Deshaun Watson, Nick Chubb, Jerry Jeudy, Amari Cooper. I'll take that team to beat the Chiefs at home versus the Browns. Give me the Colts on the road versus the Broncos. Ravens on the road versus the Giants. I'll take the Bucks on the road versus the Chargers. Uh, you know what? I'll sneak a New England win in there. I'll say New England beats the Cardinals at home. Uh, Give me the Lions at home versus the Bills. Eagles at home versus the Steelers, and I'll take the Falcons on the road. Vegas. 49ers beat the Rams at home. Saints beat the Commanders at home. Cowboys win on the road against the Panthers. Green Bay wins on the road against the Seahawks, and Minnesota beats the Bears at home in that one. Finally, moving on to the last 3 weeks of the season. We're almost done here. We got the Bengals versus the Browns. Give me the Bengals at home. I'll take Kansas City versus the Texans at home. I'll take the Ravens versus the Steelers at home. I'll take the Colts at home versus the Titans. I'll take the Bills at home versus the Patriots. I'll take the Chargers at home versus the Broncos. And I'll take Jacksonville to be the only road win of the AFC versus AFC games in Vegas. Actually, you know what? Let's see, Jacksonville. I'll take Raiders to win that one. I think that's a home game stretch. For some reason, Gardner Minshew versus the Jags, one of his older former teams. I'll go ahead and say Minshew wins that one somehow against Trevor Lawrence and the Jags on the road. Give me Jets at home versus the Rams, and then give me the Give me the Niners at home. Niners on the road versus the Dolphins. I'll take the Niners on that one. Lions go to Chicago and beat the Bears. Falcons should beat the Giants at home. I can see the Falcons winning that one. Eagles win on the road against Washington. Panthers win at home versus the Cardinals. Cowboys beat the Bucks at home. And I'll take the Seahawks. I'll take the Seahawks at home versus Minnesota. So moving on to the last 2 weeks here, I'll take the Steelers. I'll take the Chiefs. I'll take the Chiefs on the road versus the Steelers. I'll take the Ravens on the road versus the Texans. The Bengals at home versus the Broncos. Give me the Patriots versus the Chargers. I'll take Patriots winning that one at home. Jacksonville being the Titans at home. Bills being the Jets at home again. Somehow they'll find a way. I think the Browns will beat the Dolphins at home. Give me the Giants to beat the Colts at home. I think Daniel Jones and that team and Malik Neighbors find a way to beat the Colts at home there. Saints will be winning that game against the Raiders there at home. I'll take the Bears at home versus the Seahawks. I'll take the LA Rams at home versus the Cardinals. I'll take the Commanders at home versus the Falcons in that one. Give me Green Bay on the road in Minnesota to win. Give me the Bucks to win at home versus the Panthers. Give me the Eagles to beat the Cowboys at home. And then as well as give me the 49ers to beat the Lions at home. So moving on to Week 18, this is the final week. All AFC versus AFC and NFC versus NFC. No outer conference games here. So let's go ahead and get into it. Raiders will pick up another win against the Chargers there. Broncos will pick up a win against the Chiefs, who should rest their starters because even if they win, if the Bengals beat the Steelers, you know what? I'll say Chiefs and Bengals will play their starters, and because Chiefs will try to put themselves in a position to get the bye, but the Bengals will finish the Steelers off and win that one. Give me the Colts at home versus the Jags. It's not going to affect the Jags making the playoffs and being the divisional winners this year. Give me the Titans to beat the Texans. I think the Titans win at home in the last week of the year there. I'll take the Ravens at home versus the Browns. Actually, again, it doesn't matter. Back and forth. Give me the Browns on the road with the Ravens. I think they might. I mean, they're both. It's not going to change what position they play in. So, I mean, you know what? Give me the Ravens. Give me the Ravens. Bills make the playoffs and, they're tied in that division. I'm going to go, dude, that's so tough. Honestly, I see Bills winning this division. That's crazy. I was leaning Dolphins, but I think Bills beat the Patriots and then the Jets beat the Dolphins at home to give Bills the divisional champion in that. But moving on over here, I'm going to go Rams at home versus the Seahawks. Cardinals at home versus the 49ers. The 49ers should rest their starters. It doesn't really change. Or does it? Oh, it does. Okay, well, maybe not. We'll go 49ers because I think they can fight for a bye spot if they play that game according to my standings here. I'll take the Packers at home versus the Bears. Cowboys at home versus the Commanders to get that bye spot. Lions at home versus the Vikings, Falcons at home versus the Panthers, and Eagles at home versus the Giants. So before we get into my wild card picks, let's go through the standings of how the year's going to go for each respective team. Let's start with the AFC North. We got Bengals 4-13, Ravens 4-13, Browns 11-6, Steelers 8-9. Actually, you know what? Mike Tomlin never goes under 500, so maybe I might switch a game here. If I had to switch one Steelers game, what would it be? Let me take a look here. Just tough. It's a tough schedule, man. You know what? To avoid going under 500 for Mike Tomlin, I'm going to go Steelers to beat the let's go Falcons. Steelers to beat the Falcons, I think, at home. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. So going back to it, let's reshape this. It doesn't really change the Falcons standing, or it doesn't really change the standings at all. I just think the Steelers go over 500 because Mike Tomlin is an over 500 coach. So anyway, Bengals 4-13, Ravens 4-13, Browns 11-6, Steelers 9-8, Chiefs 4-13. 14. Did I say 4-13? Oh my goodness, sorry. Bengals, Ravens 14-3. Bengals and Ravens are 14-3. Browns are 11-6. Steelers are 9-8. Chiefs are 14-3. Raiders are 4-13 with Broncos and Chargers being 3-14. Bills 11-6 with the Jets, but Bills winning that division. Dolphins at 10-7 and Patriots at 4-13. Jaguars 11-6, Colts 10-7, Texans 8-9, and Titans 7-10. Moving on to the NFC, Cowboys at 14-3. I'm looking at the record below it. Cowboys at 14-3 along with the Eagles, but Cowboys winning that division again. The 5-12 Giants, the 4-13 Commanders, the 14-3 49ers, the 5-12 Seahawks, the 4-13 Rams, the 3-14 Cardinals, the 14-3 Lions, the Packers at 13-4, Bears at 5-12, Vikings at 3-14, and then finally in the NFC South, Saints 9-8, Falcons 8-9. Bucks 7-10, and Panthers 6-11. So now that we have all that taken care of, let's go ahead and get to the wild card round. I'm gonna go ahead and say, this is tough. I'm gonna say Ravens beat the Jags on the road. Bills win at home versus the Browns somehow, and then Chiefs win at home versus the Jets. The Eagles will beat the Saints on the road. The Packers beat the Lions at the Lions, I think. 49ers will pick up the win against the Falcons. Moving on, the Bengals should beat the Ravens at home. Kansas City versus Buffalo, man. Do I think Buffalo beats the Browns? Yeah, I do. You know what? No, I'll give it to the Browns. I'll say Bengals beat the Browns at home. And honestly, I'll say the Ravens beat Kansas City, honestly, in the divisional. Let's go with the hot take. I think the Ravens beat Kansas City in the divisional, and Bengals win their game at home versus the Browns. I'll take 49ers to beat the Eagles again, and then I'll take no, you know what? I'll take the Eagles on the road against the 49ers, kind of like a revenge kind of game in the divisional round. And then I'll take the Packers to beat the Cowboys because, everyone, I know, Cowboys always choke. Give me the Bengals over the Ravens, Eagles over the Packers, and then Bengals are your Super Bowl champs against Bengals are your Super Bowl champs against the Eagles. So yeah, this is my kind of season outlook of what's going to happen. I really like the Bills, like looking at it. I honestly didn't think they would win the division, but now looking at the schedule, and I think they win a lot more home than away, if there's anything I would change in this, looking at their schedule, it'd be, I really don't know. They could lose to the Jets, I guess. They could lose to the Jets, hypothetically, and they could lose to... Yeah, I don't know. If they split with the Jets, even then, the Jets would make the playoffs, the Bills would miss it, and the Colts would sneak in. But then again, I thought the Texans would be a solid team, but looking at their schedule, it's not easy at all. You got some tough opponents there, without a doubt. Now, does the Texans winning that? It doesn't sneak them in. I mean, it'll make them 9-8, but it won't sneak them in. But I can definitely easily see 3 AFC North teams making the playoffs this year just by how strong that division is in their teams. I think the AFC West is probably the weakest division of the bunch. Um, I didn't think the Bills. I mean, the Dolphins would be a 10-7 team and still miss it, even being 4-2. And I mean, they would have the Bills being at home, so they would have to beat the Bills on the road in order to make it. Looking at all that, but I mean, I even gave them some wins that I was questioning on too. It was like, I don't know. Looking at this though, guys, I mean, I don't know. It's tough. It's really tough. But this is what we got. So, I mean, looking at this right now, I mean, home away, dude, that's tough because do I think the Bengals go undefeated at home? Home. Their home games are pretty easy outside of the division. Browns, Steelers. Yeah, I mean their home games are not tough. I mean, Eagles could upset the Bengals and then give the Chiefs. Oof. And there it goes again. That's where it flip flops, you know. But yeah, this is what I got for this year. So I mean, that's just one of those things I was looking at, and it's tough. It's tough, but this is what my schedule would look like if you guys want to look at this and kind of base off your bets off this. I wouldn't personally, but this is kind of what I'm going with. But before we get into our next topic, Bobby will be covering his kind of season outlook as well for all these teams and their record and who's gotten the Super Bowl and all that. We've done that before, but this is more of a visual demonstration of it. I'll kind of go through and talk about the records again for people listening and not watching on YouTube. That way you can stay informed. But I mean, moving on to our next topic, let's go ahead and talk about. So we've had a ton of MLB games going on, and we did talk about that for a little bit. And the Orioles currently are beating the Dodgers in the bottom of the 8th right now, and I do think they could pick up that win. But kind of looking at what we're wrapping up here, we kind of see the Kansas City Royals getting into the swing of things, kind of trying to make a push to win the division. As you see now, they're tied in the division with the Cleveland Guardians at 75, Minnesota at 72 as well. Detroit definitely not out of it, but probably is going to be out of it. 8 spots back. But like I said, you get 3 spots per wild card in MLB. So Baltimore, Cleveland Guardians, Minnesota Twins. As of right now, currently, I'm at the Baltimore Orioles could win their game. So that doesn't really matter. But anyway, the Mets are still, even though they're up 8-3, I think they'll beat the Diamondbacks tonight right there. As you heard, it's 8-3 in the end of the 8th, so top of the 9th. I don't think the Mets will make it. I'm hoping my Braves hold it out. Looking at the Braves kind of like wrapping up the season, which is tough for us because it's not an easy schedule on the rest of the year. We still have we saw some tough opponents. We got Dodgers in a 4-game series, Philadelphia in a 4-game series that we're going to have to win. We got Minnesota coming up, as well as St. Louis finishing off that one, and we won. We postponed, so we have to play St. Louis again. I don't know if that's coming up or when it got rescheduled to, or if they even finished that out. But regardless, so I was just looking at, so we got Cincinnati on Monday, and then we go on Wednesday to play the Twins. Then we got a series at Phillies. Luckily, it's versus the Dodgers, but then we still have the Reds, Miami, the Mets, and then we have to play Kansas City at the end of the year. Just kind of looking at this, I mean, it's going to be tough. It's going to be really tough for us because injury-wise, I mean, Ozzie Albies is almost back to form there. Austin Riley's going to miss 6 to 8 weeks. That was August 20th. So that should put him back 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It should put him back towards the end of September. So he should be back by the playoffs, which will be great. So if we can get Austin Riley back by the playoffs as well as Ozzie Albies, of course, Strider is was so early next season for Strider. I knew he was out the year. So yeah, Acuna and Strider both for sure out the year. I that's what I thought. I just want to make sure. I read something. It was like in good shape, and I was like, I hope we're not going to rush him back out there. But looking at kind of like the standings right now of MLB and kind of like what's left in the year. I mean, I think the Diamondbacks, Padres, and Braves hold on to the wild card spot out in the National League, but for the American League, Boston's still trying to make a push because Minnesota is only at 72, 68. I mean, if you're around that 65 wins, 68, 67, 67, 66, 65, you got Red Sox, Tigers, Mariners, uh, Tampa Bay Rays, and the Blue Jays. I think all of them still have kind of a shot if they go on a nice little run there to push for a wild card spot. And like I said, if the Yankees start cooling off and Judge starts cooling off, and the Orioles could very well. And I mean, this is the nice thing too, and this is why I think it's very interesting because we're going to see the Orioles play a series at the Yankees towards the end of the year that I think could decide the division, honestly. And the Yankees don't have an easy. Well, I mean, it is sort of easy. It's not too tough to end out the year. The Yankees have St. Louis at the Rangers, at the Chicago on a 3-game series versus Kansas City at home, 3-game series. Boston in a 4-game at home, at Seattle in a 3, at Oakland in a 3, versus Baltimore in a 3, and versus Pittsburgh in a 3. So not too tough for them closing out the year. I mean, I think the Astros will win their division. I don't see the Mariners coming up and taking the Astros spot, honestly, in the division, although they do have to play them at the end of the year as well at the Astros. I think the Brewers will hold on to their spot in the Central. Dodgers should. I don't know if the Diamondbacks or the Padres can make a push for the Dodgers spot. But like I said, if the Orioles beat the Dodgers tonight, I mean, that really puts things into like perspective for the Padres and the Diamondbacks. I mean, you got 2 more games against Baltimore, still pushing for theirs. Then you got to go on a 4-game stretch at Arizona. You also have to play Atlanta, who's trying to make the wild card as well. And then you have to play the Padres towards the end of the year. I think the only saving grace, and I don't know how the Dodgers swing this at all, I think the only saving grace is that you get to play Colorado in a 3-game at home and then a 3-game on the road at the end of the year. I don't know how they swing that, and Miami as well, at Miami. So theirs is not tough, but it's not easy. But like, I don't know how they swing a schedule like that, honestly, because that's in my opinion sort of easy. And I mean, very well, the Braves could catch up to the Phillies. I mean, that series at the Phillies could really decide our division as well. Because I mean, looking at the Phillies, they got the Brewers, the Mets, home and away, 3-game, 4-game, and then it's just Tampa Bay, Miami, Washington Nationals, and Cubs. I mean, come on, man. It's like, I mean, we got to play freaking, and it's nothing against them, but it's like, when we have to play like Kansas City and we have to play the Cincinnati Reds and the Dodgers and the Phillies and the Blue Jays, who are all trying to make the wild card, and the Mets as well. And then the Phillies and the Dodgers are, majority of their last few years, like Colorado, Oakland A's. It's like, you know what I'm saying? It's kind of frustrating when you see that. But kind of wrapping up the MLB here, I still think, like I've said before, I think Baltimore will be that team to beat in the playoffs. I think that's probably my favorite not even sleeper, just my favorite team to win the World Series, honestly. I think their bats are just super hot, and they got a nice I think they have a nice pitching rotation now with their team. Corbin Burns, of course, Grayson Rodriguez, and those guys. I mean, their ERAs aren't crazy amazing. But like I said, I think the Orioles just have a very interesting kind of pitching unit, like Cole Irvin, of course, and then Dean as well. I don't know. Just kind of looking at this, I think Orioles are sort of the team to beat, in my opinion. But, Kansas City Royals, I honestly think they can make a nice push, too. I mean, looking at kind of their splits here and everything, I mean, they're batting very well. If they can carry that bat, if they can carry those bats through into the playoffs, they could be a dangerous team because I mean Seth Longo and Cole Reagans and those guys pitching for them. Michael Wacha, not so much. He used to be pretty nice, but now it's kind of hit or miss with him. I mean his ERA is not amazing this year. 3.3 is not bad, but it's not amazing. Uh, you know, what you of course you'll take that, but I mean, having three good pitchers like that, and I think Brady Singer's not having a bad year either. Yeah, 3.3 ERA. Uh, so I mean, they have four really good pitching rotations, and then plus the bats are hot. I mean, if you look at the last 7 games, or last 7 days of it, Vinny, he's batting a 207, but he's hitting doubles and getting a couple of walks here and there as well. But really, it's just Bobby Witt hitting a 296, Salvador Perez hitting a 360, Miguel Garcia hitting a 273, MJ Melendez hitting a 364 right now, Michael Massey 294, Paul DeJong, who they did pick up through waivers, I believe, was he's batting at 333 right now. Hunter Renfroe is batting a 5, or sorry, I'm looking at the wrong thing. I'm looking at on base, sorry, but still, I mean, MJ Melendez batting 364, Perez batting 360, all these guys. But Hunter Renfroe still batting a 417. Paul DeJong's batting a 250, which is a nice pickup at shortstop for them. So, like I said, I mean, having Bobby Witt just play that designated hitter, or even putting Paul as a designated hitter, it's just one of those things. Like Kansas City could very well put themselves in a position to win this division, honestly. So, I mean, just kind of my thoughts. If you really want my thoughts right now, and I don't know how the odds are looking to win it all, let me go check real quick. World Series odds. I mean, looking at these odds right now, I honestly plus 700, plus 25 for Kansas City is not bad, low key. Like I would probably take Kansas City at plus 2,500, and then I mean, Dodgers are at plus 3, Phillies and Yankees are at plus 5, Orioles are at plus 700. I'd do one safe one in the Orioles at plus 700, and then I'll do a long shot like Kansas City Royals to win the World Series at plus 2,500 low key. So that's kind of just where I'm at right there, and then I mean that's kind of where I'm at just in the whole thing. But looking at real quick, looking at the futures, and this is kind of the next segment here before I wrap up. I just want to touch on NHL futures because I kind of forgot to touch on that. We've been talking a lot about the news surrounding everything, but I kind of wanted to dive into like some futures here. I mean, if you do, Edmonton's at plus 800, Dallas is at plus 1,000 with Florida. And the team that I like to win the Stanley Cup, the New Jersey Devils with their new coach at plus 1,100. I honestly think, and Nashville's at plus 1,600. So we're looking, I mean, we're high, we're just as high as Vegas, higher than Boston, higher than Tampa Bay now. I mean, we're up there now as a good team. You know what? Let's do a long shot. Let's just do. I guess they're all long shots technically because they're all plus 1,000. So if you want one West, one East, here's mine. Ready? Nashville Predators, not just because I'm a fan. I just really like our team and how we're rounded everywhere. Could use some help on defense like me and Parker talked about in the last episode if you guys want to go check that out. And then the New Jersey Devils in the East. I think New Jersey Devils in the East win that one because, like I said, besides the Panthers and the Hurricanes and the Rangers, they're the highest in the East with the Panthers. But moving on to like what I think is going to happen though is I just can't see Edmonton going back to it, man. It's tough. It's really tough. I don't see Edmonton going back to it. I mean, I think Colorado is tough. I mean, it's either going to be Colorado or Dallas Stars, low key. They always seem to find a way to win and make it back. But regardless, I think for me in East and West, I'd probably do Predators in one and the New Jersey Devils in the Stanley Cup winner in another. But that's just me. I mean, I could definitely see the I could definitely see the Hurricanes making it, or the Rangers. I don't see the Panthers making it again. It's tough making it 3 years in a row. So I don't see them making it, but that's what I'm going to go with. So, yeah, hope you guys enjoyed today's episode. We should have Bobby back tomorrow. He couldn't make it today, but he should be back tomorrow to give his kind of rundown on the season as well, kind of like how I did today. And then I'll also have a couple of topics to discuss before he joins the show as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed today's episode, and I'll see you on the next one, guys. Peace.